These are the suggestions I'm going to give you. I
Okay.
want to put a few words down, and I want to talk to you about why they're in those positions. These are all assuming you're playing blue side, okay?
Okay.
And the other thing about these words is I want you to think about what these give you against most vision. Now, admittedly, top lane is one of the more boring ones in that you have pretty much two choices. And then you have another. This, it could be either or, right?
Huh.
It doesn't matter if it's pink or green. This is assuming your blue side. Everything is mirrored as red, right?
Yeah, and I'm assuming you're talking because I can't see your mouse. I'm assuming you're talking about top bush here, right?
Yeah, see how I'm moving the...
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. I see it now.
So, up here, right? It could be
Mhm.
either of these. In this bush, pink word is fine. Pink word is fine here. These are the main two pinks you have to think about as a top laner. The other one you might think about is this one here.
How do you defend the top pink?
This one is just snuck in there. People don't check it very often.
Okay.
So, like, if you're pushing the lane, if you're constantly shoving under tower, you might want to get a pink in one of these bushes. It doesn't have to be this one, but actually, it's very rare they check this bush, just to tell you. But that being said, you might want the green word here instead. If you have the green word here, maybe you have your pink word here, right? Maybe you invaded and you put your pink word all the way out here.
Okay.
Maybe as a top laner, you invaded and you put a green word here, right?
Okay.
Actually, kind of strangely enough, red side has a bit of an advantage as top lane because the words are more useful on blue side than they are on red side, but because it doesn't mirror that well for top laners, right? But I'll go over that in a moment. So you have the word here. This is just a standard river word. It's kind of useful, but it's something to think about. Like, again, none of these words I'm saying, like, you can't get all of these words every game, right?
Yeah.
But you get some combination of them. You look to have some vision control, and these are the best spots to put your vision control.
Okay.
So, as mid laner, you're going to think about these. So, throw away the top lane stuff. This doesn't matter anymore. Just look at the mid lane words.
And we're assuming blue side again, right?
We're assuming blue side.
Okay.
Now, mid lane is directly mirrored. It is not like top side, so you don't have to think about, oh, this is different because blue versus red, right?
Yeah.
Because it's literally mirrored, it doesn't matter. So, think about this. This word here gives you vision of an entire gank angle, right? They can't come through here because of this word. Same with this one. What does that mean? It means if you have this one, don't bother putting this one, right?
Yeah.
That being said, this word is useful even if you have this pink word. It gives you a bit more knowledge, it lets you know about the camp. But this one is very hard to place because it takes a long time to go there. Next, we have a pretty common word, which is this pink word. This is one of my favorite pinks to place when I can. I like this word a lot because it takes this angle, but if I had this pink, I wouldn't go for this green likely, because why would I? It's an overlap, right?
Yeah.
So likely, if I had this pink down, I would go for this or this word. Or this one. So,
Okay.
mid lane has a bit of a thing where this word lets you know about roamers, right? So you worth the lane when you're against a champion like Talon, a champion like Kiana, so you know what side they're roaming to, like Twisted Fate, right?
Yeah.
Or even Zed, actually, it helps a lot against. You ward this angle against a ganking jungler, usually, or this angle. So you ward one of these sides and then you play to the side. Pretty simple, right? So you just put the pink on one side and you put your green vision on the other. And I know a lot of people put words in these 4 bushes, right?
Yeah.
Try not to do that. It's lazy. It's not as good.
Okay.
A lot of people do it. You can do it if you're in a pinch, if you don't, like, feel safe going up, right? But it just gives you so much less control, so much less worth.
Okay.
Vision is a limited resource. Think about vision like you think about your summoners, and it will really change your mind about how the game works, because think about this. In the early game, you have 1 green word for every 4 minutes you play. How often do you get a flash?
300 seconds.
Every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
How often do you get a ignite, let's say? It's around every 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Heal, around 4 minutes, a bit less, 210 second, 3.5, right?
Yeah.
Wards actually have around the same cooldown as summoner spells
Mm.
in the early mid game. So think about them like that, right? Your wards are an incredibly important resource that most people underuse by a stupid amount.
Mm-hmm.
If you start using your vision properly and understanding it, I cannot tell you how much easier it will make the game for not just yourself, but also your teammates.
Okay.
And I'm going to cover with you when you should be going for the wards when we're actually reviewing the game in a second.
Yeah.
Because now you know the vision, right? You know the vision for top lane, you know the vision for mid lane. Quickly to show you, I'm not going to talk that much about it because it's not that important really, but typically as a top laner, this is the most important green ward you can have. You can sometimes also pink this bush if you want to, but you do one or the other, right?
On red side.
That's if you're red side.
Okay.
These two wards, either one of them give you an insane amount of value because they give vision on the blue buff and the pathing and the grump, right? So these two wards alone eliminate most ganks. And then if your mid laner, let's say, has vision as well for your team, this angle would still be uncovered. Potentially this angle would likely
Which angle are you
be
talking
covered, but then your mid laner has a ward, let's say here, or a ward, let's say here, right? Is your red side.
Mm-hmm.
So if your mid laner is doing his vision properly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he has one of these wards, and you have one of these wards, well, how does their jungler go through their top lane without being seen? They can't, right?
It doesn't. He goes through lane.
So if the top laner is playing properly, and the mid laner is playing properly, right?
Yeah.
And only with 2 green wards, wait, they can't gank from top side at all.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way, right?
I mean, unless he goes through lane and goes for a blast, right?
Well, unless he comes through this angle, right?
Yeah.
But where's your
Unlikely.
pink likely as top laner and red side? It's either going to be here or here, right?
Yeah. Well, didn't you just say that top laner might pink the blue?
They might pink the blue, or they could
Yeah.
green the blue. So let's say
Oh,
they
okay,
have the
so you're
pink in this
saying-
bush, right?
Uh-huh.
And then they have the
green
green
the-
in this forward bush.
Yeah.
I mean, then they can come up here for the blast plant and come over this way, right?
Yeah.
But what jungler is going to do this to
Without
here,
any
come
knowledge?
over and gank
Yeah.
when they get no camps doing this pathing?
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Especially
And
with
am
how
I-
Raya changed the camp XP so that you kind of have to clear now.
Yeah. Am I looking to ward basically every time a ward is up?
Yes, pretty much. Within
Okay.
1 minute of every time a word comes up. Technically, you can do it within 4 minutes of a word coming up in most parts of the game. Or at 2 minutes, 3 minutes in mid-game, right?
Yeah.
Because the cooldown of Trinket decreases and you can store up to 2 of them at once.
Uh-huh.
You always want to be having the word cooldown ticking, though. You never want to have 2 words up at once.
Okay. I think a problem with me is I always... The reason I don't have high wards is because I use them, obviously in a wrong way, I use them as a way to get kills. So if someone's going to try to path into a bush, I know that I have the ward to, give vision. Or if they're flashing over a wall, I can give vision and see what's happening. That's how I've always used wards. I almost never use wards as exactly. I know it sounds terrible, but as vision, I usually use them as some way to work with getting a Baron or checking where if I'm in the middle of a fight, putting it in a bush. So that's obviously something I need to work on.
That's fine, but it's also okay to think about the game at what phase of the game you're in.
Okay.
Is your objective in the first 10 minutes to solo kill your lane opponent in his Ryze? Is that what you're thinking of? Or are you thinking
No.
about...
I'm thinking of
I want to
farm
get perfect
and they'll
farm.
die.
I want to take this raptor camp occasionally. I want
That's
to never
exactly what
die.
I'm thinking of.
And
that
I want
bad?
to potentially roam with my ult. Why do I need this word for solo killing my lane opponent? In late game, I understand that. After 30 minutes, let's say you're playing the side lane and you want the ward to be able to see a bush, right?
Yeah.
When you're in a 1v1, sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's more, understandable. Before 15 minutes, your team needs that vision.
Okay.
And as
then,
the mid laner, your most important job is to prevent your teammates from falling apart. Because if you stop them from falling apart, you can scale up to your mid-late game power spike.
Okay, and then at level 1, when you're literally coming out of base, are you placing a ward somewhere before you go to lane?
Not anymore. That was before Ghost Poro change.
Okay, well, because I got
Sometimes you
advice to
might,
ward.
but
So if we were on blue side, I got advice to go to the red, like wait till 120 in your like near your pixel top side, and then go ward the bush next to the red where he would come through for raptors at like 120 or
okay.
after like 125, and then go back to your lane, and then whatever.
You're
Maybe
talking
you
about
get
this
vision.
word or this word, right?
Yeah, that one, the one to the right. Yeah, that one in that bush. Yeah, so I would ward that at
So
125 or something.
this is fine.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to do a bit of a shallower ward on the third minion wave after I clear it. On level 1, you can do that if they're doing a downwards clear jungler, like they're going to clear top side into bot lane.
Okay.
It's fine to do that ward. Don't do that ward against, let's say, Lee Sin. Like, that's just stupid. He's not going to do his raptors unless he's trolling. On the timing that ward will be up for.
Okay.
Don't do that ward against Jin Zhao. He's not going to clear raptors that early.
So I was thinking that ward is. I got advice to do that ward, and I was like, wait, that's
that
actually
ward
kind
is
of good.
great against Karthus. Against Amumu. Against, like, junglers that clear up, but...
Yeah. Okay.
It depends on the jungler. I mean...
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, I was just wondering.
Yeah, anyway, though.
Okay.
Again, anything works. Anything is permissible. You just have to know when to do it.